Hey everybody, it's Terenzo. We're back here and we are at Castle Wall. If you recall, I saved at the end of the last video, so we're going to go ahead and dive right into this. So this tower, unfortunately, it looks like not a lot of work's been done on this yet. It looks very similar to the other, the vanilla version of the game, but we'll plow right through it anyway. One thing they changed from Legacy of Darkness is how annoying the bone pillars are. They're quite annoying in the vanilla version. They have a much more rapid rate of fire, and they're a little bit more dangerous as far as knockback and their positioning, and I think they have a little bit more health as well. Fortunately, they're still no match for a fully charged carry bolt. This level is also substantially more dangerous in this version because they have Medusa heads that spawn and will knock you off. They tone those down a lot for the Legacy of Darkness version of the level. Now these textures have been redone and they look very nice. So we have our skeleton dragon boss. Carrie fortunately makes pretty short work of them. She can kind of just pop out and take shots at these guys. The trick is timing it so her bolts don't get eaten up by the fireballs. We're also fighting the boss at night, so that means it gets more health. This boss drops what looks like a lot of goodies when you die. I think that's really just a trap by the developers to try to lure you in. Because if you try to collect those items, you might even get killed by how much damage you take from fighting close to that thing and its fireballs. Also, most of the stuff is just sub-weapons. So, I mean, you can only carry one at a time. So if you've already got the one you want, you know, why bother? Like, there's several things down there. There's another cross, so we'll risk it. Hopefully we can pick this cross up before it despawns. We didn't. That's okay. Actually, I think I'll keep the holy water anyway because at the beginning of stage 3 we're going to have use for it. Fun fact, this little cutscene here where Carrie turns that switch to open the grate, that cutscene is in the game's coding like 100 times. There's a guy who wrote a cutscene modifier code for this game, which basically it's a Game Shark code which lets you select a cutscene and play it. The game stores all its cutscenes just as hexadecimal values, so you can just go and load those with the code. There's also lots of dummy and repeated ones in there, and the little cutscene of Carrie or Reinhardt walking up and pulling that lever, man, there's a ton of that in there. We'll just cripple that skeleton so we can get these goodies here. There's also a power-up over there on that pedestal, but we don't need it because we've already got the max bolt. I'm going to save it in case I die, so when we come back down here we can get it. Yeah, right there. The power-ups in this version don't have any sort of visible effect on them when you pick them up. It just says power-up and you're done. Legacy of Darkness, of course, they added a little power wave effect for when you pick up a power-up. There's also a speedrunning skip on this level. You can jump through a wall, essentially, and fall into the end level zone over there behind that grate. I don't know how to do it, and apparently it's difficult to do, so we're not even going to try to do it here. We probably are going to see me die on this part, though, because it's much more difficult than the Legacy of Darkness version, which I'm used to. And I also stupidly got greedy and lost my cross. So pillars of bone might knock us off. Also, like I said, Medusa heads are a big problem here. These things are also kind of screwy in Castlevania 64. They love to mess with you. They also have that Medusa head spawning there to try to mess with you. We're just going to hi-ho silver across it and almost get my nose cut off there. This is another tricky section. You have to be very careful when you choose to jump onto these platforms. No! And I've fallen into the wall and died, so that's lovely. Okay. Alright, here we go. This is why I hate this level. And I forgot to get the key, so we had to go get the key. What's over here? I forget what's in this one. Unfortunately, we're now back down to the level 1 bolt, so that's going to make it a little more difficult to kill some of these guys. The towers here in this stage, if you'll notice, each door has a picture on it. One is of a young man and one is of an old man. I'm not sure if that was just some weird symbolism that they picked, or if that actually had some sort of bearing on the final, on the prototype version of the game. Like I said, I think this game was meant to be a lot larger in scope and a lot bigger than it was ultimately. And some of the design decisions make me think they were trying to do something kind of like Resident Evil, like a game where you're in more of a static location and you try to find your way through it kind of thing, instead of just like a level by level progression game. And that's what I'm talking about with Medusa heads. Carrie also takes her sweet time getting back up, so... Now see, that was kind of crap because I couldn't see that thing. Anyway. These stairs are just terrible. You pretty much just want to go gung-ho and get up them as fast as you can, because otherwise they're going to troll you and turn over as soon as you step on them. This part is also changed in Legacy of Darkness. That's just like 1 or 2 paths, or one solid piece rather than a whole thing. We're also going to use one of our moon cards here because I'm not about to wait the in-game 10 minutes or whatever it would be to open this door. And that'll be the last sun and moon card we use the whole run, so there's no chance of us getting a bad ending or anything like that. These gears would not work correctly in real life at all. It just doesn't work that way. Physics don't work that way. Come on, guys. Now, because of the way this texture in the background moves over here, when I saw this cutscene as a child, I thought that the castle wall was actually moving closer to the castle, like it was taking you to the castle or something, because of the way that texture back there moves. I'm pretty sure that's just a flat sprite back there, so that would be really good if in the final version, if he could replace that with like a high-res version of the castle back there. I'm not really sure what his cape is doing back there. Carrie used clear eyes, so she doesn't have to blink. Anyway, after our encounter with quote-unquote Dracula, we're pretty much done with this level now that the gate is open to the villa. And fortunately, I saved that power-up that's down here because we're going to need it. There's a rather annoying fight that you have to take on at the beginning of level 3. So just avoid that moon card. We're not going to use it. There's really no point in moon cards in this game, except for that door right there, because enemies get more health at night, so why in the world you would ever want to make it nighttime, I don't know. Except to open doors, obviously. And for some reason in Legacy of Darkness, Cornell has a stage completely devoted to the mechanic of going in the menu and using sun and moon cards. It was very, very obvious game padding on Konami's part. One of the few things I don't like about this game is the stuff they padded. Oh wow, those have been completely redone. We're going to pause here. That's going to be it for part 2. Join us next time when we tackle the remastered Villa as Carrie Fernandez. Thanks for watching.